Hey all, welcome back. This week we'll say goodbye to the very beautiful Bahamas and make our way south and east to Luperon, Dominican Republic, where Maritopia will be moored for the duration of hurricane season. The plan was to go nonstop. However, rough seas forced me to anchor in the same location where Christopher Columbus first made landfall in the New World. While the seas calmed the following day, the remaining 240 miles were a motor fest of dodging countless squalls. Then, only a few miles outside of Luperon, my motor shut down. After a quick temporary fix, we make it safely into the mountainous jungles of Luperon Harbor. So join me on this wonderful adventure, and don't forget to live your dream. I'm Amy, a Midwestern Kansan girl, and this is my boat, Maritopia. Having never stepped foot on a sailboat, I bought a $5,000 Facebook Marketplace worn-out 1973 Pearson and spent 2 years endlessly working on and learning from her. I've since foregone the conventional lifestyle and have started my solo sailing adventures with the goal to truly immerse myself into the vast diversities that our planet has to offer. My hope is that these videos will help spark the curiosity of others, which ignites the drive to truly live your own dreams. Well, we're leaving Atwood Harbor. Headed, ultimately Luperon, but I have my outs at my Iguana and Turks and Caicos. So, we're leaving. We still have some squalls around us, but they've mostly moved off. And I want to get out of here to be able to catch the winds. So, we're getting out of here. Phew. A long way to go, though. It's about 50 miles to my Iguana. 175 to Turks and Caicos, and about 240 to Luperon. So here we go. Well, if we don't stop in my Iguana, the Acklins are going to be our last Bahamian island for quite a while. The seas might be a little bit rough because we have had storms rolling through for the last 36 hours, but they're predicted to only be around 3 or 4 feet, which I'm okay with, especially because they'll be on our port side beam. We'll just see how it goes. I'm just happy to be moving south and east. I was in Atwood Harbor for entirely too long waiting on the winds because I didn't want to motor. I am motoring right now because the winds are basically directly in front of us, but we're going to turn about 70 degrees to the right, so the winds will be over here at on our port side, which will give us beam reach, but I have to motor out for about 4 miles before I can turn because there's reef up here. So. Well, we're just about ready to make that turn right there, and once we do, the wind will be over here and I'll be able to raise the sails. There's some pretty decent sized waves out here, maybe 4.5 feet, but they're a fair bit apart. They're probably 7 seconds apart. Here, I'll show you. Because these storms that we've had the last 36 hours will turn these up. Hopefully that perspective comes through in the videos. I'm going to shut this off and get the head sail out and turn this damn motor off. The motor is off. We got the full head sail and triple reefed main. I left the reefs in the main because there's still squalls around, and I don't want to be raising it and reefing it and raising it and reefing it for the squalls, where the head sail is super easy to just furl in. So, but there's no motor. We're not going that fast because these waves are pretty big. So, I'll see again if I can give you a different perspective on the waves, because they are pretty decent size. Man, I just went downstairs to put my foul weather gear on. It looks like we have some rain coming in. I've never gotten seasick, but that's moving in. I just checked the radar, but the radar is just completely wrong. I checked the Weather Channel and a couple of other radars. They're totally wrong. But with eyesight, it looks like that might be rain, so I wanted to make sure I put this on so I didn't freeze. Getting back outside, I feel much better already. That's wild. Well, I've made the decision to not go all the way. I'm gonna pull in behind an island on the west side of it called West Plana Cay. These seas are just too rough. I'm actually taking waves into the cockpit now. So let me see if I can catch some for you. Ah, like that. Ah! Hoping I can pull behind West Plana Cay, and I'll be in the leeward side. And I'll just wait there until the seas calm down a little bit. I should have known better. We just had storms going through for the last 36 hours. Whoa. Whoa! So, it's on me. I should have just waited. I got impatient. And being impatient, especially as a solo sailor, is not what you want to be. So, the wind is coming from that direction. So, we'll put behind that. The sea should calm down, although I'm sure there's going to be quite a bit of swell. I'll just have to live with it. But once I get behind that landmass, the sea should come straight down. So, only time will tell. At least we get a rainbow out of it. Well, storm and all, we still have a beautiful sunset. Well, the sun is coming up. As little sun as you can see through all of these clouds and rain. And this is why I had originally planned to do this passage a month earlier, because this time of year, this is what happens. But so I was doing a little bit of research when I got in here last night, and this island, and in fact this spot directly in front of me where Scrimshaw is anchored, is arguably one of the spots where Christopher Columbus first made landfall in the New World. That spot right there. There are a few other spots that are thought to have been where he made landfall, but this is one of the primary ones, so that's pretty cool, huh? Anyway, we are going to pull up the anchor and get underway here shortly. That right there is the only one I'm worried about. There's lightning in that. I don't know that I want to be going through that, so maybe I'll hold off for a little bit and let that one pass. But there's more right behind it. There's another one. There's another one. These little squalls are all over the place, but that's the only one I see that has lightning in it. Well, we're leaving Plana Cay. I say we because there is Raphael and Mel. And Lucy, don't forget their dog Lucy. And that storm over there is raunchy. But that's the squall that I'm worried about, because they're moving south. It might be further south by the time that we're ready to go through that area. But that's exactly the area that we're going through. So we might get dumped on today, but hopefully the sea state is better. So there's West Plana Cay and East Plana Cay. West Plana Cay, where I was anchored last night, is where Christopher Columbus first made landfall. He went by East Plana, but didn't see a good area to anchor, so he went over to West. Pretty cool, huh? Both of the islands are uninhabited. They haven't, in fact, they've not been inhabited for decades. There used to be a rabbit-sized rodent that lived on the islands, Hootie or something like that. And they have since, they thought they were extinct, and they have since moved them to other Bahamian islands. So there's a fun fact for the day. I'm pretty sure that we're gonna go right through that squall. I don't believe there's any wind associated with it, but as you can see, there's sure a hell of a lot of rain. That's all right. My baby needs a wash after the salty seas yesterday. But we not only have that one, but there's another one over there. And then those clouds up to the north look super ominous. Well, I've got the main reef all the way down. I've got the head sail reef pretty good. It doesn't look like there's much wind associated with it, but something that Raphael back on Scrimshaw brought up was water spouts. So I'd rather be safe than sorry. It's quite a bit of work pulling the reefs in on this, but whatever. Well, I don't know how, but, and I don't want to speak too soon, but I think we are going to miss this. Knowing there were no squalls that would immediately affect us for a bit, it was the perfect time for some relaxation. I got a movie in and was able to check up on social. There's very little wind, so we are motor sailing. We got the full head sail out, full mainsail. I reefed them down when that squall was coming through, but that squall's long gone now. So I put the sails back up. Living the dream. I really hope this comes through in the camera. I cannot even begin to describe how beautiful this water is. This must be a shipping lane. I haven't looked, but there's a cargo vessel right there. One right there, and one right there. So I'll probably have to be pretty careful tonight and make sure I'm watching the AIS. Hey guys, so we are 2 days have passed now. I didn't film yesterday. In fact, I don't even know that I got my camera out yesterday. To be honest, I was entirely too tired. For the first 2 days of this trip, I had about 45 minutes of sleep. So the camera just wasn't a priority. This is hands down my longest solo passage ever, 240 miles. But the DR is in sight. Check out the mountain ranges. Those mountains are what helped make Luperon a great hurricane hole. I'm gonna do more research, but it seems like the tall mountains change the wind pattern slightly, and it pushes the storms away. Again, I have to do some more research. That was just my initial bit of time spent researching it. We are about 19 miles out, so we're getting close. It's been a long passage. I did get about 2.5 or so hours of sleep this morning. Very, very, very needed. Oh, there's my buddy boat Scrimshaw with Raphael and Mel, with a beautiful backdrop right now. Timed it perfectly. I guess you're not supposed to go into this inlet in the afternoon or evenings. I mean, it's not against the law, but it gets pretty choppy, pretty wishy-washy in the Luperon Inlet later in the day. So we're here first thing in the morning. I think it's about 7 o'clock, maybe 7:30 by now. So this is what I currently have going on. Not entirely sure what the problem is, but I took the line off of the fuel tank, hooked it up to the 5-gallon bucket. Fortunately, there's a primer bulb on there. So I'm running my engine directly off of the 5-gallon container. But I've only got about 4 miles to go to the anchorage. So hopefully this gets us there. Started having problems last night. I was able to put an inline electric pump on there, and it made it another 30 miles. But I guess the only saving grace is that we're right here by Luperon. And my new friends, they are a godsend. Mel and Raphael, they came back out. They were gonna tow me. I'm just ready for sleep. And this happened. My hair's nappy. I was crawling down inside of the lazarette, and my hair got caught on other hose clamps and wire ties and stuff, and was just tearing it to shreds. I've got cuts all over my arms, but hopefully we'll be able to make it in like this. I can figure the problem out later. That's it's pumping the fuel out of that 5-gallon pail so fast. And it's, for those that don't know, most internal combustion engines have a fuel return. So in about 3 miles of motoring, it's used 4.5 gallons of fuel. But most of that, it's pumped back in the fuel tank via the fuel return line. So Raph and Mel are bringing me another 5-gallon pail of fuel before I get up in here into the channel. Now the only issue I'm gonna maybe run into by the time I get there is that the fuel tank is gonna be overfull. So it's at about 5/8 of a tank right now. So hopefully it doesn't pump 5 gallons back into from the fuel return line back into the tank, because otherwise I'm SOL at that point. So Rolf and Mel brought me this 5-gallon of fuel. They tied that line on it and just threw it overboard. and then threw me the line. I pulled it up on board. After getting a handle on the fuel issues, we safely came into Luperon. While navigating the harbor, I took a bit of time to reflect as my first cruising season came to a close. From being worried about 15-knot winds and 4-foot seas to now preferring mid-20 knot winds. From only using the head sail to now hoisting the mainsail before raising the anchor. As the miles keep building towards my first sparrow tattoo, I'll continue being so enthralled with the adventures that I'm unable to see my growth until very well after the fact. If you'd like to stay up to date and follow along with the adventures, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Join me next week as we get checked into the Dominican Republic, buy some wheels, and start to get comfortable in this new and extremely different country.